Go home, GI, go home. I see the joke here is where I got this whole getup on. I could be Vietnamese. I'm not, but I could be. But I'm not. But I could now. The SKS. Let's talk about it. Oh, my knees. Oh, this hurts. Hi, hey, hello, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about another gun in my collection. This one we're talking about the SKS. This, at one point, was synonymous with the Doomsday Preppers as being the ultimate gun that you could get for cheap and the ammo even cheaper, but nowadays they've been relegated mostly to collectors, fetching north anywhere from $500 to $600 for a decent one. Even these Norinco Type 56s, which were at one point bottom of the barrel cheapest SKSs you could buy, are now fetching prices north of $500. I got mine for a good bit cheaper than that because this one didn't look like this when I got it. It was missing the bayonet, which is pretty typical for all SKSs being imported, but the stock on this thing was actually painted black. Somebody had started attempting to bub it. I saved it. I think I did a pretty decent job. It was my first time doing wood refinishing. I think it looks okay. It looks definitely better than it did. I'll flash a picture up on screen showing what it looked like before, but now it just looks a lot better. So the Type 56 SKS is probably the most prolific SKS you'll see on the market. These things came into the civilian market in like the hundreds of thousands. They were at one point, you know, a couple $100. That was before I got into guns, sadly. I mean, I was into guns, I just couldn't afford it. So, yeah. These things in your Mosins were like your cheapest entry getting into guns for most people back then, but it was a little before I could get into it. By the time I was getting into it, the import bans, thanks to Obama, had already been implemented and all that other stuff. So now they, you know, fetch prices about 3 times what they were about a decade or so ago. But nevertheless, still a fun gun to shoot. If you have one or if you can get one, they're still very enjoyable. You know, semi-automatic, 10-round capacity, 7.65-39. 7.65-39 is still pretty cheap. It's not as cheap as it was, but it's, you know, still affordable to shoot for the most part. But today we're just going to do a video of me shooting this thing, talking about it, what I think about it, and do a little bit of history on it. So before we get anything, let's go ahead and do that little history section. This thing has a pretty interesting history behind it. So let's do that first, then we'll get back to the video about shooting it. So let's go. Welcome to the history section of the video. Today we're going to be talking about the history, the design aspects, as well as the pop culture use of the SKS. However, we're just going to kind of chop the whole thing down to a little bite-sized section by just kind of going over the major highlights of each of those. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. The SKS was designed by Sergei Grilovich Simonov in the 1940s as a rifle to replace the aging Mosin Nagant as the main fighting rifle of the Soviet Union. It would end up being selected and would be used for a few years, but would be replaced fairly quickly in the early 1950s by the AK-47 series of rifles. However, its popularity would be acknowledged and other countries would adopt it as their military's rifle. These countries would include places like Romania, Yugoslavia, Albania, China, and even North Korea. They would see extensive wartime use all over the world in various major conflicts such as the Vietnam War, the Rhodesian Bush War, the Troubles in Ireland, the 6 Days War, and the Iraqi Wars, just to name a few. However, their popularity in the US market wouldn't be seen until the late 80s, when the rifles would be imported in the hundreds of thousands as surplus rifles on the market, and would be pretty quickly picked up and utilized as very inexpensive plinking and hunting rifles, and would kind of cement themselves as being a staple in the firearms market at that time. Design-wise, all the designs are similar mechanically, all being short-stroke gas piston-operated rifles chambered in 7.62x39 with 10-round internal fixed magazines and retractable bayonets. However, certain countries did have unique design changes they would implement, such as Yugos not using chrome-lined barrels and Chinese using spiked bayonets prolifically compared to the bladed ones that most other countries were using. You would also have things, though, like the Yugo M5966s, which were equipped to launch rifle grenades, and the Chinese Type 56 Model Ds, which were imported into the Western markets, being made to use standard AK mags. Now, pop culture-wise, the SKS would also have a fairly decent use, but still not nearly as popular on movies and TV and whatnot as the AK that replaced it. But you would still see it in some fairly major titles, such as in movies like Rainbow 3, We Were Soldiers, Tropic Thunder, and Mad Max Fury Road. It'd be seen in TV shows like The Walking Dead, MASH, Lost, and The Boondocks, of all things, which is kind of neat. But video games would probably be its most prolific use case in terms of pop culture. It'd be seen in various popular titles such as Escape from Tarkov, Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, Insurgency, Insurgency Sandstorm, Modern Warfare 2019, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and PUBG, just to name a few off that list. So yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of the SKS. If you want to learn a lot more about it, obviously I'd go to places like Forgotten Weapons YouTube channel and just look at his videos on those various types of guns, because he's just far more informed about those things than myself. But I just kind of wanted to give you the long and short of the SKS. So let's just go ahead and jump back into the regular schedule video. All right, welcome back from the history section. I hope you all enjoyed that. Now we're going to get back to actually showing the gun itself. So starting from the front here, have your barrel, no threading or anything like that, because it's not made for it, because it's made to take these bayonets. I'll get there here in a second. Have a hooded front sight. Works really well. I like it. It's got a little bit of red paint on it, just make it a little bit easier to see. It was on there like when I got it. But anyway, got your cleaning rod here. Got your, here we'll get to your bayonet, which is the spiker bayonet, which you just pull this little sleeve down and then flip it up real fast, and it latches onto the front of your barrel. That's a little bit hot, trying to make sure I don't touch it in weird certain places. You got your nice little spike there, which is pretty sharp. I mean, you can definitely poke somebody with it, but it does the job. Moving back here, we got your gas block and your gas piston assembly, or your gas piston inside. This is a short stroke gas piston system, so it does shoot pretty well. It's fairly soft shooting. It's not that bad. Some people have argued that SKSs are more accurate than AKs, which I think some people attribute it to the gas system. I mainly attribute it just the fact that it's a longer barrel, so it's going to definitely help it. But beyond that, we got your handguard here, upper handguard, wood, or your main stock here. Get to your rear sights. These are ladder style sights, typical. Go out to 1,000 yards, which is extremely optimistic, but I could see it more likely being done with this thing than an AK. I'm not dogging on AKs, I'm just pointing it out. Yeah, we have your charging handle here, which is part of your bolt. Nice shiny bolt here. We got, like I said, 10 capacity. We got your trigger here, which I'll go ahead and demonstrate. All right, I made sure we're empty, so let's go ahead and test this trigger here. Here's your safety, by the way, which is this little lever that you pull to block. It physically blocks the trigger from moving. So let's go ahead and test it. Nice, like 5-ish pounds. Let me go ahead and unlatch this to make it easier so it doesn't get locked back automatically. And you reset. That's a pretty long reset. It's like a 1/4 inch at least. It's a good amount of reset, but like I said, trigger itself isn't terrible. It's functional. It's functional. It's definitely a functional military trigger. We got your various markings and imports. This is, like I said, this is a Norinco made AK. You have your markings and stuff on it. Got your dust cover, or rear part of your receiver dust cover here. Have your takedown just to do the disassembly of it. Getting back here, we have your stock. Nice wood finish. Got your rear sling loop here. Finally, we have your butt plate, which holds your cleaning kit. Which I'm surprised this thing actually had the cleaning kit in it when I got it. I definitely wasn't expecting it to have that. But it's a nice little pleasant surprise when I opened it up to start refinishing it and saw that. Nevertheless, there's your gun, front to back. I think, you know, functionally, it's a fairly practical gun. I mean, some people like hunting with these things, you know, target shooting. They're definitely a blast to plink at the range. Like I said, at one point, you know, about a decade or so ago, they were like acclaimed as like the most practical, like doomsday prepper gun. I guess you could buy a whole stockpile of them and just put them back for people, which makes sense. But, you know, nowadays things change. These prices have gone up again because of the import bans and whatnot, as well as, you know, things like the ARs being substantially cheaper than they were a little while ago. And now you have things like the PSA Freedom ARs for like $400 ARs. You know, if you want to, you know, put your life to that, that's whatever. I'm not going to talk about the good or bad of PSA. I have PSA guns. You know, my opinion of that's completely separate from this video. But these things are now more so relegated to collectors. Because like I said earlier, the prices on them jumped up. This thing, I got lucky. I paid about $3 for it. Because, like I said, the stock was painted, so I had to do some work to it. But if you find them online, you're looking anywhere from $500 to $600 plus. Even some of the more rare ones, you're catching close to $700. So prices fluctuate, but you know, as they've been in the last while, they're about 3 times more expensive than they were a decade ago. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and quit some talking and do some shooting. So let's go ahead and do some shooting real quick. All right, so got it loaded up with 10 rounds, so just random. I got like mixed ammo boxes full of things, just like old surplus ammo. I got hollow points. I got soft lead nosed. I got full metal jackets. I got just random stuff, even some brass. I just have it thrown in here because this thing is able to cycle all of it. So let's just go ahead and do some shooting. So got it loaded up. Let's hit the gong real quick. Gong's on its last legs, by the way. I think it's have to actually fall over. That frame's bending in half because it's been shot so much. Let's just shoot some of the dirt next to it. I want to keep it a little... Oh, a target fell. Let's go ahead and... Hold on a second. All right. Let's go ahead and do some shooting at it real quick. Got it loaded up. I already popped a couple shots. Let's just see what else. Let's see, finish off the last of these 10 rounds, whatever's in here. Shoot the dirt next to it. I only had 7 in there. But makes it easier to drop the bolt. All right, like I said, I got these 10-round stripper clips. They're not great. I bought them in a bulk pack of newer made ones. They work, but like I said, it's got a whole lot of mixed random stuff on there. But let's go ahead and see if we can load her up without any issues. And they actually work pretty well. Put them in the pocket here. Let's just unloading the dirt next to it again. Locks back. This thing's fun to shoot, man. If the ammo's cheaper, it'd be a lot even more fun, but it's better than nothing. It's still fun to shoot. All right, so we're gonna go do some drills now. Not much, just gonna do a bill drill, maybe a Mozambique, just to see what we can do. I'm not doing shoot, reload, shoot, because I'm not doing it with that. But we'll just go ahead and do those real quick, just see what we can do. I got my beeper on me, of course, and target's there about 7 yards away. Got paste back. I'm using a spray bottle here as a marker. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's hit it with a bill drill. Just 6 shots as fast as we can so we can hit in the A zone. All right, off the bat, not great. 4 in the A's, 2 in the Charlie. 1.94 seconds though. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and tape that up and try that again. See if I can do any better. All right, I got our tape back up again. You can see it from there. It's 4 in the A, 2 in the Charlie. Let me see if I can get all 6 in the A zone this time. Again, we got 6, 1.94. See if I can do it. Okay, I'm gonna aim a little bit above center mass and just see how fast I can do it. See if I can hold it pretty tight. Okay, there we go. 1.88. All 6 in the A zone. let's go ahead and I'll take the camera over this time and show you what it looks like. All right, as you can see, that was pretty good. I think it was pretty good. At least we got 2 stacked right on top of each other there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, and that was in 1.88 with split 0.21. That's not bad, I think. So you can definitely shoot this thing fast enough if you need to. But there you go. That just proves it. I'm not that great of a shooter either, so if I'm able to do that, most people can probably do it. So, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do a Mozambique and just, you know, have some fun with it. Let's go do that real quick. Back at the same 7 yards, got it taped up again. This time we're going to do the Mozambique. So it's 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Yeah, let's just see what we can do. It's pretty simple. Well, I completely missed the head. Let's try that again. Oh, probably would help if I reloaded. That was a good one, though. It was a little low. Let's go ahead and tape it back up one more time, and then we'll go ahead and try it again. All right, like I said, I loaded it up, retaped it. Let's see what I can do now. Stick these on. That was terrible. 1A, 1 Charlie, and then a Bravo, I guess is what yeah, it's B, Bravo. Right on the head. What? Not great. Let's try one more time. I'm gonna keep doing this so I can see if I can get a good one. That was 1.52. It's real good though in time. Oh, that's better. That's way better. 131. I stepped into it. Really got it there. Let's go ahead and let me show you real quick, see what we did. All right, yeah, as you can see, that last time, way better. 1.31 seconds. This one, and this one were the first try. No, sorry, it was this one. It's one of these two. This one, and this one for the first time earlier, and then the last time I just did it, it was this one of these, and then that one. So, a little low. That one right there took a little more time to aim and make sure I got it, but I got it. And that was in, like I said, 1.31. It's my birthday, funny enough. But yeah, so there's Mozambique. We'll just go ahead and finish off. I got another stripper clip loaded, and what's left in here, we'll just, I got the gong. Let's just step back and shoot out to range just for the fun to finish it up that way. I'm not gonna do the reload, so let's just go ahead and walk it back and see what we can do. Let's do that real quick. All right, we're gonna start walking it back. I'm at 25 yards. I can go back to probably about 150 before it starts becoming a problem because there's a hill blocking me and all that stuff. I want to shoot into it and ricochet over, but we're gonna just do 25 yards, working it back. Sure enough, first shot. A little high, but still only gong. Let's walk back to 50. All right, we're at 50 now. Let's just go ahead and ring that bell. A little high. A little high again. There we go. Okay. I got aim way lower with this thing. And that finished that clip off. Let's go ahead and load up the last of this 10 I got on me. I want to go ahead and finish the video by, I got an empty spray can I've been using to paint the target blue, and it finally ran out on me. So let's just finish off by shooting that. I got it set up at 75 yards. I'm going to show you real quick. All right, you can see right there, that's going to be shooting at about 75 yards. If I go any further back, it starts getting obscured by the hill. So let's go ahead and see if I can hit it. There we go. 3 shots. Go see what it looks like. All right, as you can see, here's a can. There's the spot I was killed at. Reaction image. Soy Jack. Ooh, that was good. Okay. Clean. I'm assuming that was the entry, because there's 2 holes on the exit. So I think it frayed open. But either way, thanks for watching. I got a few rounds left. There's some mag dumping in this can. There you go. Thanks for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video on the SKS. And I got more videos coming up. Next video is going to be a real fun one. It's completely out of the ordinary for what I normally am going to do. I'm going to take you all on a little trip with me. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Casul content's on the way. It's a ways out, but it's coming. Other projects too that you definitely aren't be expecting. Stick around for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.